The mirror in my room started reflecting things that weren't there. When I moved into the apartment, the mirror was already there. It hung on the wall across from the bed, tall and narrow, with a dark wooden frame that looked older than the rest of the furniture. I asked the landlord about it when he showed me the place. "Previous tenant left it," he said with a shrug. "If you don't want it, I can take it." But the mirror looked nice, antique, almost expensive. So I kept it. At first, everything was normal. The apartment was small but quiet, and after long days at work, I liked lying in bed and watching the room reflected behind me, the window, the desk, the lamp in the corner. But about a week after I moved in, something strange happened. It was around midnight. I had just turned off the lights and was scrolling through my phone when I noticed movement in the mirror. I looked up. The reflection of my room was there exactly as it should be, except the closet door was open. I sat up immediately, because in the real room, the closet door was closed. I stared at it for a moment, trying to understand what I was seeing. Then I stood up and walked over. The closet door was definitely closed. I opened it slowly. Inside were my jackets and a few boxes. Nothing unusual. When I turned back toward the mirror, the reflection now showed the closet closed again. I told myself it was just my eyes playing tricks on me. Maybe the lighting. Maybe I imagined it. Still, I slept with the lamp on that night. Over the next few days, the mirror kept doing things that didn't make sense. Small things at first. The lamp in the reflection would flicker even though the real lamp stayed steady. Sometimes the chair near my desk would appear slightly turned in the mirror while it stood perfectly still in the room. I started avoiding looking at it, but the mirror faced the bed. So eventually I always looked, and each time I did, something felt slightly wrong, like the reflection was half a second out of sync with reality. One night, everything changed. I woke up suddenly around 3 a.m. I didn't know why. The room was dark, except for the pale light from the street outside, and the mirror was glowing faintly. Not bright, just enough to catch my attention. I turned my head. The reflection showed my room, but something was different. In the reflection, someone was standing near the window. My heart slammed against my chest. I sat up instantly and looked toward the real window. Nothing. No one there. Slowly, very slowly, I looked back at the mirror. The figure was still there. Tall, completely still, just watching. I couldn't see a face, only a dark silhouette. And the worst part? It was inside the mirror, not in my room. I didn't sleep that night. I kept the lights on until morning, and when the sun came up, the mirror looked completely normal again. No figure, no strange reflection, just my room. But now I couldn't stop thinking about it. The next evening, I decided to test something. I set up my phone camera and pointed it directly at the mirror. Then I sat on the bed and waited. Hours passed. Nothing happened. Around midnight, I was about to give up when I noticed movement again. In the mirror. My breath stopped. Behind me, in the reflection, the closet door slowly opened. But I heard nothing. I turned around immediately. The real closet door stayed closed. When I looked back at the mirror, it was fully open. Dark inside. Empty. Except something moved, like a shadow shifting deeper in the closet. I grabbed my phone and checked the recording, but the video showed nothing unusual. The mirror looked perfectly normal. No opening door, no shadow, nothing. That's when the fear really started, because whatever was happening, the camera couldn't see it, only me. Over the next few nights, the mirror became worse. Sometimes the reflection showed objects slightly different. A book that I left on the desk would appear on the floor in the mirror. The window would show darkness even during the day. Once, I saw the silhouette again, standing closer, near the foot of the bed, watching me, waiting. I finally decided I had enough. The mirror had to go. The next morning, I grabbed a screwdriver and started removing it from the wall. But when I pulled it away, I froze. Because behind the mirror, there was another room, or at least it looked like one. A narrow space inside the wall, too deep to be normal. And it wasn't empty. There was another mirror inside, facing the one I just removed. For a moment, I just stood there, trying to process what I was seeing. Then I noticed something moving in the second mirror. A reflection, but it wasn't mine. It was the silhouette, standing right behind me. I spun around. Nothing. The apartment was empty. When I turned back toward the hidden space, the second mirror was dark. No reflection, no figure. Just my own frightened face. I covered both mirrors with a blanket. Then I called the landlord. He came over later that day. When I showed him the hidden mirror behind the wall, his expression changed immediately. "Where did you find this?" he asked quietly. "It was behind the mirror," I said. He stared at it for a long moment. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "There was another tenant here before you." I waited. "What happened to them?" I asked. He hesitated, then finally answered. "They said the mirror showed someone standing behind them." A cold chill ran through my body. "What happened to them?" The landlord looked away. "They moved out." "That's it?" He didn't respond. That night, I couldn't sleep, even though both mirrors were covered, even though the hidden space was sealed, because every few minutes, I heard something, a faint sound, like breathing, from the wall. Around 2 a.m., I finally looked toward the covered mirror, and the blanket was slowly moving, as if something behind it was trying to step out.